Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you live from the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been attending a 2-day conference hosted by BiggerPockets and had an opportunity to meet and network with lots of investors, some that are just starting out and some that have been doing it for a long time and are where I really hope to get at some point in my investing career. I'm using my laptop, I'm sitting in the lobby, and we're just going to see how this goes. So I wanted to share with you some of the key takeaways from the last 2 days that I've spent here. By the way, my name is Adrienne. I'm a real estate broker in Southern California, and I'm also a real estate investor. I've been investing for over 20 years. I currently own 18 properties, mostly in California, with 4 properties out of state, 2 in Texas and 2 here in the great state of Tennessee. Part of the reason why I wanted to attend this conference is because I really want to take my real estate investing to the next level. And I thought it would be great to share with some of you some of the things that I learned while I was here, so that if you're thinking about investing in real estate and whether or not it's right for you, hopefully something that I'm going to share with you today will actually be helpful for you to be able to ask yourself certain questions and think about some of the information that these speakers have provided to help everybody that was in attendance here think a little differently and to really narrow your focus on what it is that you're trying to do. So that kind of leads me into one of the big takeaways, is that you have to be so laser focused. So right now my properties include mostly single family homes, some condos, and 1 duplex. And my goal is to venture more into multifamily. And so very basic stuff here, but you need to have a plan. And you have to, part of that is step 1 of that plan is to have a goal. What's your end destination? Why are you doing this? Why invest in real estate? You can invest in lots of other stuff, but if real estate is where you want to be, why is it that you're trying to do it? What are you trying to accomplish? Step 2 would be your strategy. Are you a flipper? Are you a wholesaler? Are you a buy and holder? That's kind of what I am doing. Not kind of, that is what I'm doing. Step 3 is to think about your financial picture. You know, the numbers, the business models is really going to make or break what you're trying to do. So you definitely have to have a good idea of what the financial picture looks like. And step 4 is your exit strategy. What do you plan to do, 20 years from now or 30 years from now or 5 years from now? Everybody has to come up with this on their own. Are you putting your properties in a trust so that your kids can inherit them at some point in time? Are you planning on doing a 1031 exchange and moving into some other type of investment? Are you planning on selling it all and traveling the world? Whatever it is that you need to know exactly what that is. And most of the properties that we have are in the state of California, like I mentioned. And something that really resonated with me, which one of the reasons why I'm here is to also look at rental properties after this conference is over. But one of the speakers said, don't let where you live dictate where you invest. And they gave an analogy about stocks. If you own stocks in the stock market, are you only picking stocks that are with companies that are in the neighborhood where you live? Sounds kind of ludicrous, right? Yet, when it comes to real estate investing, so many of us are more comfortable with having a property where we could see it and where we could drive to it. And really, it should be about the numbers and where do the numbers make sense to invest in real estate. So that was, just a good reinforcement for me that here I am planning to expand my search here in Tennessee tomorrow and Thursday. And so that just kind of said, yeah, Adrienne, you're taking the right step. You're not letting where you live in California, which is super expensive, and the numbers just don't make sense for me as an investor. There are other investors who, that might work for them all day long. For me, I need to change it up and look out of state. So that was great. Let's see, next thing I wanted to share was a quote that said, you can't save yourself into wealth, and you can't save yourself out of debt. So, it's always a good idea to have some money in savings. You never know what life is going to bring your way. But, if you're only putting your money in a savings account, nothing really is going to change in terms of your wealth. So what are you going to do to create that wealth? And some of the things that were shared today was creating additional active income. So we all have our 9-to-5s where we're, hustling and making money. I have my own business. Other people might work for a company where they're, have their hours and their set salary, and that's great. But there's so many things in this day and age that we can do to add additional income, and then take that income that's not going to, for our expenses, but take that to use to invest. You can become a consultant. You could create a small business. You could do affiliate marketing. You could sell stuff on Amazon, on eBay. I mean, there's so much stuff that the internet has brought to our fingertips that we could do to make money in just a few hours a week that doesn't have to go towards our everyday living expenses. And once you get to the point where you can are at the financial freedom stage, then you can start working on creating passive income, and that's cash flowing investments, intellectual property licensing, rentals, being a lender, a private money lender, hard money lender, bonds, dividends, all types of opportunities. And I have to tell you that this conference was like information overload. Some of it is common sense and nice reminders, and some of it was like really big, like, okay, yes, I need to really hone in on these different directives and do something with it. So I mentioned that I was wanting to look into multifamily homes, and today in almost every session that I attended, the speakers were talking about how multifamily is really what will help you as a real estate investor catapult your wealth by taking advantage of economies to scale. So, for example, right now we've got the 18 properties, and each one of those properties has different tenants and some of them have property managers. Most of them I self-manage. But if you buy a 10-unit apartment building, you've got one roof, you've got one person that's kind of managing everything for you, and it's churn and burn in those situations. Now, these guys and gals are buying 100-unit complexes, and it's something that I can't even imagine at this point in my real estate investing. It gets me excited. I mean, hearing them talk about how they went from owning one duplex to 150 units or 1,500 units. I mean, I can't even imagine. So using economies to scale is really, really important, and that's something that I'm planning on implementing into my own real estate investment strategy. And the other thing that they were talking about today was using the compounding machine. And many of us know about compounding interest. Right now, your money doesn't go very far in a savings account. The compounding interest is very low, what banks are offering. On the reverse, with credit cards, compounding interest can really, really dig you into a hole if you've got a lot of revolving debt with high interest rates. But the key is to take that compounding effect and use it to reinvest the money that you're making with these passive income strategies, and taking that money to make you more money without you really having to do a whole lot. So my focus is to build my real estate portfolio by adding multifamily units. And my goal is for us to be able to replace our 9-to-5 jobs with our income from our rental units. And one of the sessions that I attended today was talking about how you can actually live off your rental properties, and that there's 3 things that you need to know in order to do this. So there's a formula that he shared. The first variable is personal expense. How much do you and your family need to live off of? The next thing is your return. How much will you get back from your rental properties? Some people might be okay with 5% return. Some people might be looking for a 10% return. You have to decide whatever it is that works for you. And the last thing is, how much wealth do you need? So if you take this, do some basic algebra, you can take your personal expenses divided by the rate of return that you need, and that'll tell you how much wealth you need. So a simple example, if your expenses are $70,000, you want a 10% return, your wealth would need to be 1.6667 million, something along those lines. So the higher your expenses are, the more wealth you need. The lower your expenses are, the less wealth you need. So I can go on and on talking about the different sessions that I attended and the little nuggets that I got from each of those sessions. But I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon here, and just want to share with you some of the resources that you guys can look at on the internet that are available for free. So BiggerPockets is the company that put on this conference. They have a fantastic website where you can sign up for a free account, and there's forums, you can ask questions, people share information very freely. And then, of course, there's a lot of people on these websites that can actually help you with networking. If you're wanting to buy property out of state, there's, lenders, there's real estate agents, a whole variety of people that you can connect with to help you on your journey. They also have a podcast, and if you're on Instagram, you want to follow the top guys on Instagram as well. Today, the closing keynote speaker is an author of a book, and I'm trying to find the name of the book is the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. And I don't want to get this guy's name wrong, so I'm trying to pull it up real quick. David Osborne. So he started talking, and I'm like, okay, I like his vibe and stuff. And then I found out that, oh gosh, he co-wrote this book, and I actually read the book and thought it was fantastic. He has several other books that he's authored, but it was just really a cool experience to be here, to be able to network with other people and talk to them about where they are in their stage of real estate investing. And my experience is limited to what I've done thus far. I've made good choices, I've made bad choices over the last 20 years, and I'm happy to share whatever information I can with you. If you have specific questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I will share my knowledge with you, and if not, I can point you in the direction of some other avenues where you might be able to find what it is that you need to help you along the way. So I'm going to sign out from Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.